Survivors need love. But what does that even mean? It's so subjective, this term love. And for each survivor, love is going to mean something different. So it's really better, especially if you know the survivor of religious trauma or any type of abuse, to ask them, how can I support you right now? And if I were to do such and such, would that be helpful for you? And let them respond. Ask them how they're doing and what they need from you, and letting them know that you are at their disposal to support and encourage them, hopefully the same way that they're supporting and encouraging you in life. In the Christian world, this idea of love, it's such a loaded term, and no one really seems to even know what it means. We know what the Bible says about it. It's patient, it's kind. Can it get a little bit more specific when it comes to survivors? Let's say you don't really know a survivor, you don't know them personally, and you're wondering how to engage them. A survivor really needs to know that you're a safe person because they've only known not safety up until this point. If they've been in an environment where they've been abused, they're emotionally dysregulated, they're easily triggered, they're in fight or flight mode, either have been or are currently. Becoming trauma informed is the first step to understanding how to engage a survivor. So really just understanding where they're at in their journey. So when they tell you a story, ask them, when did this happen? It's recently, it's safe to say they probably haven't made it too far into their healing journey. So just listen. And this is probably isn't the best time to bring up, well, maybe you should forgive and forget, or all the things that Christians like to say and have been trained to say by the church that really doesn't get at the root of the problem. And what is the problem? The survivor needs a support system. The survivor needs you to be the safe person that they really want to know is out there. They really want to believe again that they can trust people. So if they're taking a leap of faith and telling you about their lived experience in the church, chances are they're testing you out to see if, are you one of them that's going to continue my abuse, or are you going to help me? Here are some tips that I can provide to help those wondering what they can do to support a survivor. It's important to understand the mindset of the survivor. The survivor, when they're telling you their story, it's one of the most powerful things that they can do because they're trying to bring to life something that they've been told isn't happening, and they've been gaslit to a point where they just wonder if it's even true. When I came out of my horrific abuse at Redeemer Presbyterian Church, so 10 plus years of compounded trauma, when I left, I felt like I didn't even know which way was up anymore. I didn't know which way was up. I didn't know which way was down. I didn't know if the sky was blue. If you could have told me it was green, purple, I'd be like, whatever. I don't know if I can trust myself anymore. So when a survivor is going about the act of telling you their story, it's a reality test for them, reality testing. And if you would like to be the arms and feet of Jesus in someone's life, this is a really important opportunity for you to witness. They're taking the time to tell you something horrible that happened to them, embarrassing maybe even. Why would they make this up? So I would say, if I heard someone tell me this story, I would just simply respond, it sounds like something really awful has happened to you, and I'm so sorry. I really appreciate you trusting me with this information. I would love to hear more and be there for you if I possibly can. And if you're not that person and you feel like you can't do it, you say the beginning of what I just said and say, I'd love to help you find someone that you can process this with. Somebody maybe more equipped than me. And you don't have to go into all the reasons why you're maybe not the person. Maybe you're getting triggered. Maybe you just know, I don't have the emotional bandwidth to do this right now. That's fine. But your initial reaction to the survivor telling you this is to help them live in their own reality and mirror back to them. If you're taking the time to tell me what this, it sounds like it's pretty true. Who has time to sit around and make this stuff up, honestly? So, yes, reality testing is helping a survivor get back into their own skin and to embrace their lived experiences and to embrace a new reality, which is, I'm a person who acknowledges that this happened to me and that what happened to me is wrong. And that's kind of point two. If they're telling you a story of abuse, one of the first things I would also say is, what happened to you is wrong. I'm hearing what's happened to you. And if this happened to you, it's wrong. And I want you to know it's wrong. So if you're a Christian, you have a standard for how people are treated. And you get those ideas for that standard from the Bible. So even if a survivor is telling you this happened to me by the hands of a pastor, well, my value systems and my authority come from God and not this religious leader. So if this religious leader has done this to this person, it's broken the standard. So I'm able in this moment to stand with the survivor and say, what happened to you is wrong. So you've told a survivor, I believe your reality, I believe your lived experiences, and I want to stand with you in setting the standard for how you're supposed to be treated and stand up for that standard with you by just affirming that there is a standard and say the standard's been broken since I've heard your story. The last is offering your support, saying, "What can I do right now to show up for you as a friend in your life?" And oftentimes you'll just hear, "You just did it." You listened to me and I just needed to get that off my chest. And that energy that's inside of them has been coming out in your presence and landed at your feet. And you treated that as if it was sacred ground because it is. That right there is huge. Just listening and saying there's a standard and the standard's been broken. After that, a lot of the times they'll feel, whew, they'll be a little out of breath, like, thanks for listening to that. I just really needed to get it off my chest. And you'll see that they're a little triggered. And they might even say, like, I didn't realize that, I needed to get that out. And just like seeing that pastor or running into by that church, like it just really kind of triggered me. And I just had to tell you what happened. You'll see that they're kind of coming off of the trigger. So just gently saying, if you know them, you can say, can I put my hand on your shoulder right now? And they might need a hug or touch. And if not, just say, I'm going to stand next to you and just let you know you're not alone in this moment. And that's what I'm going to offer you in the moment. I'm standing here with you and witnessing that this needed to be said and that it means something. It means something. And then offering ongoing support. I think when survivors run away from their church, they lose such a huge community support system. So being someone that's like, seems like, you've kind of lost a lot of friends. For me, I lost all of my seminary classmates. None of them were safe. They're all taking sides with the church. I lost so many friends, friendships I built for a decade, lost so many people that never talked to me again, never wanted to know me again because I dared to call out an institution founded by Tim Keller. Wow. So what about Jesus? Um, I think one of the most powerful things you can do for a survivor is say, would you like to come over for brunch? Would you like to cross my threshold into my private space in my home? And would you like to be served dinner by me? That's so huge. And what does that remind you of? Communion. It reminds you of communion. And you can say something like, we either can continue talking about this or we never have to talk about it again. It's really up to you. And sometimes people don't want to talk about it anymore. They were triggered in that moment. They needed to get the story off their chest and they're now moving on with their day or their life. And they don't want to talk to you. Maybe they want to talk to their therapist. And maybe that's the best choice for both you and them is a therapist, them talking to the therapist instead. But how can you help moving forward? Continue talking to them. Feed them dinner, invite them in, see where their social network has been hindered and harmed, and try to fill the void even in the smallest way that you can, which is just texting them on their birthday, or better yet, going to their birthday party. I think those things are huge when a survivor's lost so much from speaking up and from running away from abuse. So those are the things right now I would say are such huge things you can offer survivors, and I'll be adding more to this list in the future. Thank you for listening, and if you've gotten this far in the video, thank you for caring enough about this topic to get involved and be prepared to witness Jesus to a survivor of abuse in the church or otherwise. Have a great day.